The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Happy Wednesday morning, everybody. It is 5:30. I am Ileana Capian alongside Alex Fisher, and we've had a great start to the week as far as weather. It's almost that perfect California weather that you hear about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and it's only going to get better if you like the cooler temperatures. Kevin Sherratt standing by with a look at our forecast and the below average forecast that we have later this week.
Right, yeah, Kevin? It's better than having triple digits in place this time of year.
So. You know, when we were talking the other day about how this is graduation season and how this could not be better weather for all those graduation ceremonies.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than sitting out on a graduation and it's 102 while everybody's going walking the line. So yeah, definitely a beautiful sunrise this morning, a beautiful day for you as well, and temperatures are going to be cooler, so that's always a good thing to see in Kern County. As we take a look right now, the temperature, Bakersfield at 62, a calm wind out there, but we are still seeing some stronger winds in the mountains. Now, if you're a golfer and you want to hit the links today, mid-60s by 8 a.m., 1 o'clock 78, and perfect by 4 o'clock with 83. I think a lot of people will be swinging this afternoon. As we take a look at the winds, we're still looking at some very strong winds into our mountain locations. This is going to continue throughout the day, so if you're going to be traveling over the Grapevine or even the 58 into the Mojave area, keep that in mind. And as we take a look at the high wind warning, this is in place until 6 a.m., possibly extending that out. But for now, we hope that it will expire at 6 a.m. And you can see throughout the day, upper 60s are expected, maybe hitting 70, but we also have those winds in place throughout the day as well. We'll talk more weather in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, Kat, thanks so much. Recapping our top stories this Wednesday morning, the House of Representatives will vote today on whether to form a 9/11-style commission to investigate the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. Former President Trump calls it a Democrat trap. A Republican negotiator signed off, but Minority Leader in Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy says he's voting no. If approved, the commission would report by December 31st. Calls for a ceasefire fell flat yesterday as Israel and Hamas continued to launch airstrikes toward each other. At least 219 Palestinians have been killed in airstrikes, including 63 children and 36 women, with more than 1,500 people wounded, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Around 58,000 Palestinians have fled their homes. 12 people in Israel, including a 5-year-old boy and a soldier, have been killed in rocket attacks.
And for the second time this year, a Bakersfield motel is the scene of a murder. And this morning, police saying the alleged killer is still on the loose. Police say a man was shot and killed at the Vagabond Inn on Colony Street near Panama Lane just before 8 p.m. last night. Officers say the man had been shot multiple times. Now, police are looking for the shooter. They say they're looking for a man who was wearing a white bandana, black shirt, and black jeans. Call police if you know anything. And you may remember 2 people were shot and killed at the Vagabond Inn in January. The sheriff's office says 45-year-old Luis Ramirez and 39-year-old Rudy Casillas were shot multiple times. In that shooting, police arrested 28-year-old Omar Uranda of Moore Park. Uranda was booked into jail on 2 counts of first-degree murder. He's due back in court next week. And homicide detectives are investigating after a woman was found dead yesterday morning in Ridgecrest. Sheriff's officials say deputies found the body around 11 a.m. in the 900 block of Skylark Avenue. Investigators say they were obvious signs of trauma to the body. The investigation still continues. And we now know the name of a man shot and killed in Northeast Bakersfield last week. Sheriff's officials say Tyler Russell was shot and killed on Acacia Avenue near Greenlaw Cemetery. The 24-year-old was found dead just after 8:30 Thursday morning. According to family members, Russell has only been in Bakersfield for 2 years. They're asking for help transporting his body to Nevada for a service. We have a link for donations on our website, kget.com.
Officials say an Oildale woman was killed by her own son before he killed himself. Jonathan Rawson and his mother, Beverly Helms, were found dead inside a home on Tokumbo Avenue in March. Almost exactly 2 months later, the coroner ruled that Helms was stabbed to death and Rawson stabbed himself. Rawson does have a criminal record. Just last year, he was charged for stabbing a man on the same block. But a family member said he also struggled with mental illness for a very long time. Murder-suicides are rare, but usually involve family members or intimate partners. If you or someone you know needs help, you can call the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault 24-hour hotline. That number is 327-1091. From our 17 follow-up file, today marks day 22 of a manhunt for an alleged child killer, still on the loose this morning after breaking out of jail. Tyrone Johnson and David Palms escaped from the Alerto Justice Facility early in the morning on April 28th. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood says they used a flagpole to escape once they got into the roof of the facility. Both are accused of killing 3-year-old Major Sutton in 2017. Palms was eventually captured, but Johnson is still on the run. If you see Johnson, call 911, or you can call Secret Witness at 861-3110 or 322-4040. Now a look at the coronavirus in Kern County and remembering those we have lost to this virus. After months of hard work, Rosedale business owner Kevin Russell officially unveiled his Kern County COVID-19 Memorial yesterday. Those who came for the dedication tell 17's Eitan Wallace, while it has been a tragic year for so many, they are grateful for their loved ones that will never be forgotten.
Those who came for the dedication tell me while it has been a tragic year for so many, they are grateful their loved ones never will be forgotten. This is the Lopez family. Last December, their matriarch, Lydia G. Lopez of Shafter, lost her battle with COVID-19.
She came out positive, and it took her fast. It took her really fast. Very beautiful lady. She was our rock. She was our rock.
Now, Lopez and so many others who died of COVID will forever be remembered. That's because today, the Kern County COVID-19 Memorial became a reality. Hundreds of community members attended this special dedication outside the American fabrication business in Rosedale. All of this, the creation of Kevin Russell and his employees at American Fabrication.
It made me feel good inside. This is giving something back. They'll always be remembered. And that, to me, is more than anything.
So far, there are 108 names on this memorial. Among them,
William Edward Frankhauser Sr.
Zelma Frankhauser speaking of her late husband, a proud Vietnam War veteran who succumbed to the virus just a few months ago.
He was just a wonderful, giving man that never lost his temper. Our kids say we never fought. He was very loving and he loved everybody.
Those in attendance spanned all ages and backgrounds. The family of the late Billy Uribe brought their patriarch's picture with them.
I will truly miss him. He was the center of our family.
He broke his wing, I helped him heal, then he flew away.
Grammy Award singer Gregory Porter taking part in song to remember his late brother Lloyd.
An extraordinary person, full of life, very young, and we lost him to this pandemic. I'm very sorry for that.
But with the sadness also comes gratitude. These sisters thankful their late brother Ernesto Neto Aguilar is forever enshrined on this wall.
It just brings a lot of comfort for us, gives us peace in our heart.
The Lopez family sharing a similar sentiment about this memorial.
We're definitely going to honor our mom for the rest of our lives.
As of Tuesday, there have been 1,376 souls in Kern who lost their lives to COVID-19. If you would like the name of your loved one on the memorial, you are asked to email Michelle Bettis at mjlbettis@gmail.com. In studio, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
Meantime, we continue to see progress in the fight against COVID-19. According to Kern Public Health, there were 0 new deaths reported yesterday. 31 more people in Kern County have tested positive for the virus. State data shows 28 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms of COVID-19. 6 people are in the ICU.
And the mass vaccination site at Cal State University Bakersfield is officially closed. Instead, Kaiser Permanente, Dignity Health, and Adventist Health are hosting pop-up mobile clinics. If you'd like to get vaccinated this week, you can visit the mobile site at Ridgeview High School. It's happening today from 1 to 5 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome, and anyone 12 and older is eligible. We have a list of all the pop-up mobile clinics and more information on our website, kget.com. Just click on the hot links. And a 400-pound bear spotted Monday in California City has been captured and released back into the wild. Police say the bear was first spotted last night in a residential neighborhood near 90th Street and Catalup Avenue. Officers asked people to keep their pets inside and report anything suspicious. Around 1:30 yesterday morning, police said the bear had been caught. The California City Animal Shelter posted a Facebook that this was not the same bear spotted in Ridgecrest.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
And in your 17 Health Watch, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and local organizations are aiming to help our community take care of their mental health and physical health at the same time. City Serve is partnering with Dignity Health and Kern Behavioral Health for a new event called the Here for Health Pit Stop. The drive-through event will offer resources on mental health, substance abuse, and local services. It's happening tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon at 3201 F Street. Free health screenings will be available along with food boxes for the first 200 families.
Looking ahead to this weekend, Hoffman Hospice is hosting its third annual Pickleball Palooza tournament. The Hospice Center says the tournament is sold out to players after more than 180 people signed up to play. You can still watch. It's this Saturday at the Stockdale Country Club from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. It is free for spectators, and there will be boxed lunches for sale as well as a raffle. You're advised to bring your own lawn chairs or picnic blankets. Hoffman Hospice says the tournament will be in honor of Tori Hoffman, who passed in June of last year.
And a reminder to drop off new and gently used shoes for our Shoes for the Homeless shoe drive. We've teamed up with Guarantee Shoe Center again this year for this event. You can drop them off at Guarantee Shoe Center at the corner of 21st and Chester, or in the lobby of KGET Studios at 22nd and L Streets. The drive is going on now through the end of the month.
Representatives votes on whether to form a 9/11 style commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Tracy Potts explains why lawmakers are deeply divided.
Alex, good morning. Good morning, everyone. This commission would look into what happened on Capitol Hill on January 6th, why it happened, and the inability of security to stop it. Lawmakers are divided over whether this is a mission to seek truth or whether it's all about politics.
Today, the House of Representatives votes on whether to create an independent commission to look into the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
Disappointing but not surprising that the cowardice on the part of some on the Republican side not to want to find the truth.
The commission would include 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, with top leaders from both parties approving any subpoenas. In a statement, former President Trump calls it a Democrat trap. A Republican negotiator signed off, but Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says he's voting no.
This is driven solely by politics and Nancy Pelosi, but we should not be a part of that.
I wonder what Mr. McCarthy is afraid of. Is he afraid of subpoenas? Is he afraid of the truth?
Lawmakers also disagree on whether the commission should look beyond that day into other attacks. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is promising a Senate vote.
Republicans can let their constituents know. Are they on the side of truth? Or do they want to cover up for the insurrectionists and for Donald Trump?
We're undecided about the way forward at this point. We want to read the fine print.
If approved, the commission would report by December 31st.
The White House wants to see this commission happen, and so does the Problem Solvers Caucus. That's a group of several dozen lawmakers evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. Tracy Potts, 17 News.
And as mentioned, House Minority Leader and Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy criticized a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. McCarthy released a statement yesterday morning claiming Democrats did not negotiate fairly with Republicans. He argues multiple investigations into the riot already exist. He also says the commission ignores other political-related violence in American cities over the past year. Meantime, you may see a new billboard around town that scorns McCarthy. This is the message from Mad Dog Pack. The sign has a cartoon picture of the congressman with the words, McCarthy, McCoward, McColt.
And making headlines around the world, Israel bombarded Gaza with airstrikes and Palestine militants resumed cross-border rocket fire yesterday after calls from the international community for a ceasefire. NBC's chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel reports from Tel Aviv.
President Biden's call for a ceasefire was ignored. Israel kept on targeting Hamas in Gaza. Hamas fired more rockets towards Israeli civilians. Israel's prime minister saying the operations show there is a price for Hamas's aggression against Israel. President Biden saying Israel has a right to defend itself. The conflict jumped outside of Gaza, spreading to Palestinians in Israel and the West Bank, where clashes started with stone throwing. Many here don't support Hamas, but see an opportunity to pressure Israel to give Palestinians either a homeland or equal rights. Israeli troops didn't tolerate the stones for long.
The Israelis are firing tear gas, but I think we are okay to hold here for a second. But it is a very volatile, a very quickly developing situation, and it is not just in the West Bank. Palestinians inside Israel, Palestinians in Jerusalem are holding a strike. All of this in solidarity with the people of Gaza, saying that what is happening in Gaza needs to stop. And here comes the tear gas.
Soon it escalated. Palestinians hiding near the protesters opened fire on Israeli troops, injuring 2. Then Israeli forces shot back.
Just a second ago, we heard a single crack. It sounded like it could have been a sniper fire.
This ambulance took the man away. He was dead. Just a few feet away, an 8-year-old girl played. Her parents brought her here so she'd get used to all of this and one day carry on the fight.
Rallies were held in California yesterday with organizers standing in solidarity with Palestinians who went on strike in a rare collective protest. Strike organizers say they are standing against Israeli aggression in Gaza and Jerusalem, as well as brutal repression by police. Rallies were held in San Diego and San Francisco on what organizers termed a day of action. The conflict began last week and continues to rage. It is the deadliest Israel-Palestinian confrontation since the two sides fought a war in 2014. Late last night, Israeli media reported diplomatic efforts involving Egypt and the United States could produce a ceasefire in the next 2 to 3 days.
Here at home, the Bakersfield Police Department hosted a workshop last night about how to record officers in the line of duty. Police Chief Greg Terry says a member of the public has the right to record officers in public places, but he says people don't have the right to impede or interfere in a police investigation. Police say they are not allowed to tell you to stop recording on public property or take your phone under any circumstances unless you are arrested. BPD says keeping a safe distance from officers can help these encounters go smoothly. Some community organizers say recording police officers safely can help keep the community safe.
There's an importance to recording. It's a tool for accountability. So we know that there's no guarantee actions of prosecution for an officer, but it doesn't mean that we should stop.
If you would like to watch the full workshop, just head to our website, kget.com. Last night, the city of Arvin hosted a meet and greet for the city's new police chief, Edwin Brock. Brock was sworn in by the Arvin City Council last month. He says he's excited to lead the department after going through a strict selection process. Arvin Mayor Olivia Trujillo says she's excited to have him on the job.
It was more than anything for him to bring in what it takes to be a leader, to really come in and build our police department. And that's why we're really excited about having him here. He is the right person for the job, and I really hope that he continues with that same spirit.
Brock replaces the former chief, Scott Kimball, who retired last year following charges of misappropriating city funds.
And in your 17 Court Watch, 2 men who worked as caretakers for a disabled woman were sentenced yesterday in connection with the pouring of boiling water on her. Gabriel Monsibayas was sentenced to 5 years in prison, according to court records. Police say he poured the scalding water on Essence Perkins back in July of 2016. The other man, Anthony Alvarez, helped cover up the incident and created a story with Monsibayas that Perkins had experienced a violent episode and accidentally burned herself, according to the police. Now, Alvarez was sentenced to time served and 2 years probation. Both men accepted plea agreements last month, each pleading no contest to allowing or causing injury to an elder or dependent adult. And trial continues today in the case of a Bakersfield man accused of killing 3 people inside their home more than a decade ago. Tokumbo Okawaga is accused of killing Felipe Bravo Jr. along with his father and girlfriend after the pair allegedly robbed a home back in 2009 with the third co-conspirator. Prosecutors say Okawaga carried out the killings in an attempt to eliminate any witnesses to the attempted robbery. Yesterday, 15-year-old Sheree Brown testified that when she was 5, she heard a gunshot in her home and saw her mother fall to the side, but could not definitively ID the shooter as Okawaga. Okawaga faces life in prison if convicted. And the trial of a former owner of Trout's nightclub in Oildale is scheduled to begin July 21st. Alan Thomas Rockwell faces multiple accusations. He stole tens of thousands of dollars from his disabled uncle. Prosecutors say Rockwell was granted power of attorney when his uncle was hospitalized. It is alleged that Rockwell's uncle later reviewed banking records and found thousands of dollars missing. Thomas Rockwell has pleaded not guilty to nearly 24 counts of financial theft from an elder and identity theft, and faces a maximum sentence of up to 16 years in custody if convicted on all counts.
In education news this morning, Garza's seniors got their chance to accept their diplomas during an in-person graduation ceremony last night. The in-person graduation ceremony took place at the Sam Tobias Field in Northeast Bakersfield. The school celebrated with speeches from students and staff and even included a dance performance. Hundreds of eager parents packed the stands as graduates took the field in a heartwarming ceremony many graduates say they'll never forget.
Especially this year with the pandemic, we started off online, wondering if we're ever going to be coming back onto campus, and just being here is just such amazing. It's so great, and it just feels like we're a family, and I'm so grateful for that.
So congratulations to all of those graduates. And by the way, just a reminder, we'll be live from Cal State Bakersfield University Friday morning for a very special edition of 17 News at Sunrise, honoring the achievements of all graduating students here in Kern County. Kern High School District is preparing to begin the construction of its new school. The district will hold a groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow for Del Oro High School. The ceremony will be held at 10 a.m. at the northeast corner of East Panama Lane and Cottonwood Road. Officials are expected to announce the school colors and mascot at the ceremony. Del Oro High School is the district's 19th school. It is set to open in August 2022 with an initial phase of freshman and sophomore students.
5:22 this morning, and making headlines around the nation, the New York Attorney General's office says it's now pursuing a criminal investigation into the Trump Organization. A spokesperson for the Attorney General's office told NBC News that they have informed the Trump Organization that the investigation is no longer civil in nature, but the office is now investigating the Trump Organization in a criminal capacity. The Attorney General's office opened the civil investigation after President Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, testified before Congress in 2019 that Mr. Trump manipulated the value of his assets for economic and tax benefits. And a North Carolina prosecutor has determined that deputies were justified in the fatal shooting of Andrew Brown on April 21st. District Attorney Andrew Womble says the deputies involved won't face criminal charges. The public finally got to see body camera footage from the morning when Womble played it as he announced his decision yesterday. In making his decision, Womble said deputies clearly identified themselves to Brown, and he refused their orders and drove his car directly at one of them before shots were fired.
A man is in police custody after attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old girl. The whole thing caught on home surveillance video. The attempted kidnapping took place around 7 a.m. local time at a bus stop. And you can see the little girl is sitting on a patch of grass when a man in a van runs up to her and grabs her. Authorities say the man had a knife in one hand and his other arm around her neck. The little girl fought and fought until she broke free. Officials said it was the video that led police to 30-year-old Jared Paul Stagna. He now faces charges of attempted kidnapping of a child and aggravated assault and battery. But very impressive that she was able to get away.
Proud of her for fighting that.
Absolutely. I think we're all proud of her.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. News of Bill and Melinda Gates' divorce making major headlines. And it turns out more than 1 in 4 people getting divorced in the U.S. are over 50. And the financial implications can be severe. CNBC's Sharon Epperson has more.
Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates and his wife Melinda are not going to have to worry about money after their split. But for many people over 50, going through what's known as a gray divorce can have a significant impact on their finances.
The financial complexities increase because typically there's more assets and often there's not many more years that they're working. So we have to be that much more conscious and savvy about splitting assets.
To do that, experts say, review current and future living expenses. Figure out what to do with the family home. Make it a financial decision, not an emotional one. And understand how state law will impact the way retirement accounts and other assets may be divided. Also, don't forget about Social Security.
If you get divorced, if you've been married for more than 10 years, you may still be entitled to take Social Security benefits on your former spouse's earnings record if that would yield a greater benefit.
Updating your estate plan is very important too. If you don't want to leave critical decisions and your assets to your ex-spouse, make sure you change your durable power of attorney, healthcare proxy, and beneficiaries on your life insurance, retirement, and other financial accounts to the person or the people you do want. For CNBC, I'm Sharon Epperson.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.